wind up, how have you been satisfied with your group, how they've looked through this session?
It looked good. We had our times. I think the learning curve of it has been shortened. The guys have learning what to do, how to practice, how we go about our day-to-day business. And for the most part, been satisfied.
Mike, how does the offense's switch to tempo and going fast affect you guys in practice and might affect you in the fall?
Well, knowing what to do as far as the players, guys got to know what to do. Everything is happening really fast. Getting the signal from the sideline, knowing exactly how to line up, and just tempo and being ready to go. I love it. It gets us ready for during the season. You never know if you may face it during the season, so it prepares you in practice and gets you ready for the season.
How have your guys handled that in terms of being ready, getting lined up in the right spot, making the adjustments on the fly that you want to make?
I think early on it was a little rough. You definitely got to be in well conditioned, in shape. That's the first thing to show the guys that's in shape, and ready. That's the first thing, and I think they've adapted to it. They're ready for it now. You see there the practice we just had. It was another tempo period. Guys looking around, and you kind of see, you learn which guys know what to do and which guys are kind of just falling into place.
Have you had any injuries out there throughout this spring?
I don't think we have any major injuries. That's a question there for Coach Muschamp. But in my position, we haven't had any major injuries.
Getting back to the tempo, how crucial is it to have a guy out there in that second level of defense that can call that signal on the fly, call that audible, and get them lined up against that kind of speed?
That's big. You actually want to have a guy in the secondary. You actually want to have one in the linebacker and the D-line also, just a guy that can relay the call, a guy that can take charge out there and run the show, so to speak.
Who is that guy in your group?
Right now, Dennis Warner. He's a guy who's learning how to become a leader. He's one of those guys who lead by example. So every day I'm getting on him about not only doing your job but bringing somebody along with you. And he's adapted to it and he's doing a great job at it.
Is he playing mostly buck now?
Yeah, he's playing. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's on the field. We're moving around a lot of guys who had a lot of production for us last year. So. We're trying to feed off of that and find some of the things that he can do really, really good for us.
What does that do for you guys, being able to maybe put him in and get 2 bucks on the field?
What you're doing is you're actually getting your best 11 guys on the field, and you're kind of finding out some of the things the guys do really well and try to put them in that position.
What kind of development have you seen from Brad Johnson, kind of from the end of last season up to now?
Oh, man, it's been a big jump. I'm really proud of that kid, man. Last year I kind of rode him. I was on him a lot early on in the season. He didn't play early. I told him why. He wasn't ready to play early, in my opinion. He's a guy who got all the tangibles. He can run, he can hit, strong, explosive, but, on this level you got to, the techniques and all those little things that you tend to take for granted, they show up on a game, So, and he's been working. He's been working hard at it. He worked hard in the off season, and it's showing up here in spring ball.
Was that a problem of him just getting a little bit lighter, watching more film, or just listening to what he was doing wrong and trying to make it better?
Yeah, just, adapting to college ball, man. High school ball, you can be the strongest guy, the fastest guy, and just run around. In college ball, I say in high school you can do that. In college ball, it doesn't work. You got to know what to do. And, I try to tell the guys, defense is like a machine. You're just one part of this machine, and if your part is not working, the machine doesn't work. So he had to learn, what exactly to do, and he's doing that.
I guess Bryson's going to line up a little bit of everywhere for you guys.
Right.
How has he been this spring, and how has he shown that he's ready to be back after missing so much last year?
He's been good, man. Right now he's not able to practice with us, so he's in all the meetings, and, he's the older guy, but I pick on him like he's one of the younger guys, and I told him why. You're the older guy, so I'm going to make you stand up at the board and draw things up. I'm going to call on you in the meetings just to keep you sharp and mentally, in tune with what's going on, and he's been great about that.
Is it a case, Mike, of once he's cleared to play, he automatically goes back out there on the field and starts, or will you tell him, you have to re-earn your spot?
Well, that's a decision that, the head coach, speaks on. My job is to get him ready to play. He decides who play and when they play, and my job is to get him ready and make sure he's ready on Saturday.
Who would you say is kind of grouped into the buck spot, and who's grouped kind of into that other end spot?
Well, right now we got 2 guys that's been added, to the group would be Aaron Sterling and Shameik Blackshear, 2 guys that's, playing really good for us. Aaron is a guy who's I like Aaron. He's an undersized guy. You look at him, you wonder how does he get it done, but he's one of, similar to myself when I play. He finds a way to get it done. That's why I like him. So he's having a great spring also. Shamik Blackshear, I would call him my project kid. We're trying to find, what do he do really, really well in this system. And, he's changed his life. You hear him talk about it, and you see it out on the field. I try to tell the guys, it kind of, the way you live away from football usually funnels over to, your production on the field. And he's taking care of everything away from ball, and you showing up in practice and having a good spring for us.
Mike, when it comes to Shamik, what was it that made the light turn on and say you need to take advantage of your talent?
That's it, man. Just taking advantage of the opportunity. I think, you gotta relate to each guy a little different. So it's just, my job was to find out what button to push to get that guy going. And positive, staying positive with him, but also being hard on him and letting him know what he's doing wrong and what he's doing right, and getting him to trust in me. And I think that's what's showing up right now.
So Sterling and Blackshear are Bucks now?
They're ends now. Right now they're playing for ends. You can put one of them in their end. You can put one of them at Buck. Like I said, we're just trying to find the best guys to put on the field and go from there.
Who else is playing Buck?
Brad Johnson, Danny Fennell. Danny Fennell is, he's probably been the most consistent guy this whole spring. You can put him at Sam, you can put him at the Buck position, you can put him at the end position, and he goes in and do exactly what you ask him to do. So, that having that confidence and feeling that I can put him in any position and he can go out and get the job done, that's a confident feeling.
What did Brad start to show you going through last season? Because it seemed like his snaps kind of went up as the season wore on.
He started knowing what to do. I think, in high school ball, you can go 85% of the play, and then that last little end of the play, you kind of tail it off. He started to play the full play. I tell the guys, always play the play longer than the offensive guy. And it's showing up now.
What's the key to defending an RPO for a defensive coach?
Get lined up fast. Got to get lined up fast. Usually when the guy's not lined up, they flip the ball out there or they pull the ball. So you get lined up, a lot of times you can see or have an idea that it may be coming.
Is it hard to defend for a defense knowing that there's so many options on a play like that?
It is. That's why you see everybody running. You're running the play. But my opinion, I think if you can find a way to get a negative play on that RPO, you kind of sometimes you can eliminate teams running it over and over.
How much are you guys paying attention to the NFL meetings and the drastic rule changes that they're talking about that might eventually trickle down to college football and beyond?
I'm not paying no attention, man. I got some guys to coach up right now. I turn the TV on, and a lot of times it tends to watch me more than I watch it. So.
But would you be in favor of doing away with kickoff returns and things like that they're talking about?
Nah,
as a football player?
Nah, you can limit it some type of way, but I'm not really in favor of changing the game as far as taking kickoff out and kickoff return.
Obviously, Bryson not practicing this spring, but what kind of a weapon is he for this defense overall with the number of places you can sort of put him in sort of how far his skill set can go?
He can run. He can run and he can hit. When you get a guy that can run, hit, he can play the pass, play the run, he can rush the passer, 3 dimensions, So, our job is to find, what can he do for this defense and what package, can we sub him in and get him out there and get the best out of him.
It seems like Bryson's always an enthusiastic, loud kind of guy. I can't imagine that's changed at all this spring, even without him on the field.
We kind of tailored down a little bit. I'm on him a little bit about that Twitter. I ain't a big social media guy, as y'all may know, but I like it. I like when guys play with energy, play with passion. I like it. You just kind of make sure you funnel all of that in the right direction.
And that's really, that's helping the rest of his teammates, especially in your position.
Oh, yeah.
Because they feed off that a little bit.
Oh yeah, you got to. You always want to, my meeting. Instead of me getting on a young guy and getting on Brad, I may go get on Bryson. That's your fault. The guy's not here on time. I get on Danny Fennell. Dennis want him. He's not here on time. That's your fault. So.
How have you changed as a coach over the last 2 years?
I don't know. You got to ask the guys that. I don't know, man. Like I say, man, when I first got here, I probably tend to coach the way that I would want it to be coached when I was coming up, So I ride the guys behind closed doors. I love them up when they need to love up, but when it's time to get on them, I get on them, So I don't know what style that is. You got to ask the guys.
Is there anything that's become more important to you to see out of players as you've gone through this?
Probably off the field. I don't know if it's become more important. It's just, I probably lean to that more than I do football. That, probably you guys will probably ever know, just because I played on other levels, so I see so many guys that didn't make it. Everybody sees the guys that made it to the NFL. Nobody talk about all the guys that didn't. So just reminding the guys, have a plan B, and like your brand. You got a brand. You always remember you got a brand, and somebody's always watching. So make sure you carry yourself inside the building the same way you want to carry yourself outside the building.
What's the biggest thing from the recruiting aspect that's changed about you over the first couple of years here?
Oh man, I haven't really changed too much for us recruiting, man. I try to be as honest as I can with the kids. Probably my evaluation process, just being able to watch how the coaches evaluate people and try to take a little bit from each coach. That's kind of how I kind of base mine. I take a little bit from this guy, a little bit from that guy, and put it all in a pot, and that's what you get.
Is there any coach that you learned a little bit from the recruiting aspect early on?
Oh, T-Raw, man. Yeah, he's a guy who's really, really good at it. I kind of, I'm always in his hip pocket when, I ask him questions, how would you do this, how would you do that, so, I definitely, I watch him.
How did you guys do against Tempo last year in games?
I think we did decent. I think the times that we seen it, we was kind of ready for it. Some of the teams that gave us tempo, we knew that they would come out and give us tempo. That's the thing about it. Sometimes teams may come out and give you tempo and you have no idea. That's when the guys have to be ready and sharp and mentally ready, for it.